Okay, I don't think I need moderation. Happy New Year, everybody, in Jim Miller's garden. Uh, I haven't done a video in quite some time, but I decided to do one today because it was too wet to mulch leaves. I did a bunch yesterday. I got the driveway all cleaned off, the front yard cleaned off, and the backyard cleaned off. But it was too wet for the leaves to go in my new lawnmower. They wouldn't. It rained a little last night, and then it sprinkled. Hi, George. Yeah, George wants viewers. Woof woof. So on this new mower, my old one, it was 7 years old, and I think a computer part failed, and they couldn't find a replacement part, so I had to get a new one. And I got a chainsaw with it. All these leaves here around this cabbage, and it's supposed to get pretty cold in the next week. First I'll put the tarp that's laying there and that old flag, and I'll put it on top, and then I'll put these clothes and I'll pile leaves on top of it, and it'll be kind of like there was 10 inches of snow on the cabbage, which will protect it. So I'm trying to mimic a heavy snowfall that'll keep the cabbage from freezing. Cabbage can take a lot of cold, but to make sure, I'm gonna cover them and protect them from getting frozen. See, this one here, that one's about half grown, and I want it to get bigger. But today, this one right here, I'm gonna cut it, and we're gonna have it for lunch with Polish sausage. So it hasn't grown much recently, so it can go and we can eat it. So and the rest of the garden is a complete mess. Since it's too wet to mow, I'll probably do a little bit of rounding stuff up. Looks like a day or so job. I got all these rocks. I got to move these rocks and brick and pile them up on the concrete here, and remove all the stakes and fence posts and all kinds of stuff, just and literally junk. And I'm gonna take the mower to it, make sure I got all the stuff won't hurt the mower, and I'll just go over it with the mower. And it looks like there's a lot of weeds too, so I'm kind of debating on mowing or taking a hoe and just ripping it with a hoe and just let it get these weeds first. So I may do the weed. I may hoe it before I mow it. I don't know. And here's this other strip of garden, and it grew. This right up here had potatoes, and then I put corn in after I dug the potatoes, so it was very successful. I put 2 crops in. So, it was so windy yesterday, I decided to just put some tarp on this pile of leaves so they wouldn't blow over the neighbors, and it worked. And here's some more cabbage to cover up when it gets cold. It's supposed to be, they had like 10 degrees on a forecast yesterday. Now it's not much below 20. So 20 ain't too bad for cabbage, but I'm going to still cover them up pretty good. So there's a lot of, you see these fence posts, I'm gonna take them up and stack them. I don't know how many I got. I got a good 15 of those to remove. And look at all these weeds. And I know one thing, the bitter cold is not going to kill those, so I'm going to have to dig them up. Those are really hardy weeds. And here are the tomato cages. I'll pull them up and stack them. And all this brick and all these pieces of plastic I'm going to have to pull up. I'm going to have to take the mower to that sweet potato patch, chop that up. Look at the weeds over here. That's a pretty good sign that ground's pretty fertile. I don't know if I I did. During the summer, I think I put a lot of grass clippings over here, so the weeds are very luxurious because of that. So a lot of work to do. And I got all these wires, and I got string. I got to tie stuff and put that stuff up. So there's a lot to do. And let's see. Okay, here's the wood pile. I bought a chainsaw for, it wasn't even $100. It's electric chainsaw, and it wasn't even $100. And I bought that with the mower, and it came, I think the mower came in about 3 days, and the saw took about a week. And on one battery, I cut all this whole tree up that fell. And it was that tree right there. It fell on this fence, and it broke some of the, actually this post is broken, and I got stuff stacked kind of holding it up. And what I did was, it was hung up. This tree was leaning over, and it was hung up on that branch. And I wanted to take these, I think they're 1/2-inch bolts, and I couldn't find anything in the house to turn them. And I got frustrated, and I said, heck, I'm going to go over there. And I pushed on that tree a lot and just kept on pushing. And I got it untangled from that branch, and I got it to lean on this fence. And then while I was looking up to buy a chainsaw, it collapsed, and it knocked the fence down to about here. And then, okay, and I cut the tree out with a chainsaw, and I rebuilt the fence. It looks functional. But it's not really used for anything. It's, when we bought the house, this was for I guess they had dogs, and it kept them in. But I pretty much wrecked that fence by putting a tree on it. I just had it leaning. I think it was right here. Hey, where is that? Okay, right here's the, I can't see it with put the hose up. It bent that cross piece on the top really bad. And I took it clear out, and I took it in between two trunks of tree, like a V shape, a V in a tree, and I just bent it right back up, and there it is. And I just put it in. It broke this piece right here. That's what the worst, one of the worst things. And that slide in piece is, it's laying down here on the ground. So I'll have to pick that up. But for now, it'll service. It'll be fine. It's back to looking halfway decent. So got one viewer and a one thumbs up. And yesterday and the day before, I got these leaves in this backyard, and I put it in these two piles over here to put on top of this cabbage when it gets cold. See, okay, this is where I took the mower this morning, and it would cut it, but it wouldn't blow it in the bagger, so I stopped. And I think I'm going to recharge that battery a little and then try, I don't know, I'll try today or not. So and here's some leaves from the front yard. I got a pile here, and I'll show you the one over on the other side of the shed. That came from the front yard. Oh, that wind blew those leaves out from that pile. On our furnace, we have a little pipe that takes the condensation out of the house, and I pile leaves on top of it because one year it froze and water backed up into the basement, and it got everything wet. So I've learned to put leaves on top of the little pipe to keep it insulated. And okay, right there, see, instead of taking the leaves all the way around the house, I just took them down here and I dumped them in this little pile. Yesterday I took the leaf blower and I blew all the leaves out of this gardening stuff laying here. Got them pretty good. The wind was really blowing, and it assisted me on getting the dirt and the leaves, and I pretty much blew them on the other side of the fence and the neighbors. But I'm going to collect all that stuff and bag it and throw it back over here. Oh, I forgot to show I got some time. Go back down here and show this little pen I made for the leaves. Yeah, the neighbors, they left this piece of iron, and I don't know what it was for. I have no idea. Almost like I don't think it's baby. I don't think it's safe for even babies, because that's a pretty wide wick there. But I took this iron that was just laying over there, and I'm using this with stuff we have, some fencing and a play mat, and I'm going to fill this area with leaves. And I was going to do that this morning, and I mowed probably a good 50 yards, and this is all the leaves that went in the bagger, and it was just leaving them chopped up. You can see right there, they were chopped up, and they didn't blow in the bagger. and it's not warming up and it's not windy, so it's going to stay damp probably most of the day. I probably won't do any mowing today because of that. All right, so I think just to use your materials that show up, and I made that pen to keep the leaves, just to kind of make the pile smaller and use a smaller area and keep them from blowing away. And I think when I do this other yard, it's going to fill that, and it's probably going to be a foot or two higher than that fence or on that pen I made. It'll be really a lot of mulch in there, and then I'll mulch the garden next year with it. So go back up here with a few 4 viewers. And here's this one of the cabbage. That one about dead. There's one there below it that is pretty much dead. But this one here, I didn't cover it, and it's really taking a beating. And this next cold spell, if it's somewhat colder, it might kill. And I don't care one way or the other, it's going to happen. I'm not going to cover that and let nature take its course and see. It might even snow on it. It's not in the forecast, but it could snow on it and protect it too. And this cabbage is 3 years old, and maybe its time has come. One year, this cabbage here, I think it was the first year I had it, it was growing like that, and I think it got down to 10 degrees, and it killed the tops out. But next spring, it started growing these shoots, and they made more cabbage. And I got quite a few cabbages that way. So maybe if I just leave it and it kills these tops, and the roots are still alive, and then it'll send up shoots again, and maybe we'll have more cabbage next year. And that one's a Jersey Wakefield cabbage. I cut I had cabbages from these Wakefields and this Flat Dutch, and they went to seed. And the other day I shelled the seed out, and I actually yesterday I took 4 planters and I planted various groups of seed, and I'll put that out probably late February. Depends on the weather. If it's like upper 20s for lows every night and it doesn't seem to be any colder, I'll put the new cabbage out then. If they grow, they should grow. Not much for people to look at, but it's New Year's and Jim Miller's garden. Yeah, I'm going to take this. I probably actually should take the dirt out of this toilet that I used as a planter, because I have a feeling that if I get around to it, it'll crack the toilet when it freezes hard. So that's something. I may turn it upside down, and it might be okay that way. So if I really get caught up, I'll do that. Now here's the main leaf pile from the front yard, and I'll mulch that around plants next spring. And this green stuff here, that is the cabbage straw. By hand, I shelled these pods out and I got all kinds of seed, and I put it in jars, and there's George. I put it in jars and I put it in the freezer, and I just got so much seed. It rained, but not enough to measure. Okay. Last week I got an inch and 80 hundredths. And look at all kinds of work to do. Where's the... Oh, there's the things to untie, posts to lift up and stack. Okay. Thanks for watching. And Jim Miller's Garden. Happy New Year, everybody. And I wish that cold weather would kill that. Look at that, just a massive amount of weeds. Neither one of the neighbors' goats. Goats would take it out. Okay, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. Maybe the next one will be when I get this garden cleaned up or when I start planting next year. All right. How long is my 22 minutes is all this stream's going to be. Well, thanks for watching. Everybody has some have a good New Year's dinner. Down here they have black-eyed peas for good luck, and we'll have black-eyed peas and cabbage and other things. Thanks for watching Jim Miller's Garden. And there's 9 viewers. Well, and got 2 thumbs up. All right, thanks for watching. I'm gonna start pulling some of this stuff and stacking it, and just get. I don't want to do the rock. I'm sore from mowing, and the last several days, like the last 4 or 5 days, I've been working, and I'm sore from that. But I'm going to do a lot of these posts and stuff because it's too wet to mow. Thanks for watching in Jim Miller's Garden.